I created an indicator called the trend entry, and it's pretty accurate, right? Let me go to a real pair. Bitcoin's cool and all, but let's look at a real pair. So you can see how accurate this guy is. Called a buy, shot up, sell, shot down, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, buy up, sell. Right. So I made it. I actually am now working on an auto trader that you can customize um, based off of this indicator. So right now we're in the beta phase, so I'm just going to be like documenting it, and let people say, hey, look, as we're documenting it, put this on YouTube, and you're going to be know in the comments, what I should probably add to this EA to make it better. So I'm going to show you what we have so far, so you can see where we can go with this, and I would love for your feedback on what you think would be a cool ad. Now let's kind of dive into the actual EA. So I'm just doing 3 different demo accounts right now. I'm going to kind of tell you how I created the EA and how I wanted it to work. So if you go and we look at the information, let's kind of just look at the settings. Okay, let's look at the settings. Okay, cool. So how the settings work so far with this EA is this is all the settings. It's basically how I wanted this EA to be different is I have lots of EAs. So for those who don't know, I've created an EA called Print Machine, and I created an EA called FXOSA Pro, and they were great. Like I took a $600 account to almost pretty much 10,000 in like 4 months. The issue with those EAs is they're hard to manage because they were using recovery. And I think, when a bot uses recovery, meaning like any type of martingale or grid, something that recovers losing trade that doesn't use a stop loss, you're at risk all the time with just really bad market conditions. And it gives you this false sense of it's a great bot just because it can win a lot. But of course, it's going to win a lot if it's always just, instead of just taking your L, it just keeps trying to win. And there's going to be that one day where it keeps trying to win and blows your account. So I have those EAs too, and those EAs are great if you use them correctly, if you accept those risks. But I wanted an EA where it uses stop loss. It had more of a mentality of a trader. And so I came up with this EA. And basically how the EA works is it uses my trend entry indicator as a reason to enter. And it uses my strategy for the rules. So my rules are very simple. Let me go back to the rules. So for example, the rules are simple. If it causes a sell, it has to be below the red line. It has to be below the cloud for it to go for the sell. And for it to be a buy, look at a valid buy real quick. It's not a valid buy. This is a valid buy. It has to be above the cloud, and it has to be above a green. So whenever it causes a buy, it's going to go up, and it causes a sell, it's going to go down. If it causes a sell, for example, on the yellow line, it's not going to take the trade. If it causes a buy on the yellow line, it's not going to take the trade, and it's not going to take the trade because it's below the cloud. So it has to be above the cloud. It's been the red, and it's optional, so you don't have to have it where it does it below the cloud. Some people don't care about the Ichimoku cloud, but for those who do, I like to add extra reasons for entry. So let's go back to actual EA. That's the reason for it to enter. Now this is a flawed EA because it has everything but the filter for the Ichimoku. So I'll keep this bot running without the Ichimoku, and I'll set 3 more accounts up with the same settings. Well, I actually set up 6 more accounts with the same settings, but different time frames and different reasons of entry. And I'll be having a beta team, beta group test up different stuff too. So we just see, what works, what don't work. Because I'm going to perfect this. So how I will have the YouTube community help is you can kind of give me some ideas as we go through this journey and update this video. I'll make this as a playlist. And we say, okay, you should add this and add that. So let's kind of just get into what it works, how it works so far. So, basically, you can have it where it basically, let's kind of get into premise. When it enters a trade, what I like about this bot is basically you can choose your risk to reward. So what does that mean? That means that if I'm risking, let's say that my stop loss is 30 pips on this trade. Well, if my risk reward is 2.0, it means that if my stop loss is 30 pips, it's going to put my take profit at 60 pips. If my stop loss is 20 pips, it's going to put my stop loss at 40 pips. If my stop loss is 10 pips, it's going to put my stop loss at 20 pips. So it's always going to aim for more than it's willing to lose. But if you put it at 1-to-1, if my stop loss is 20 pips, my take profit would be 20 pips. If I put my risk reward at 1-to-3, my stop loss is 20 pips, my take profit would be 60 pips. If I do 1-to-5, 20 pips, my stop loss is 20 pips, my take profit is 100 pips. So you can kind of have the bot be a scalper or a swing trader or anything in between, just like how a real trader does. That's why I did that. How the stop loss is referenced is you can choose how many candles it had to look for before, and then so look, it says okay, it looked for the last it looked for the last it looked for the last five. It looked at the last 5 candles. So let's say that the last 5 candles it looked at, and at the last 5 candles it did 15 pips below that low or that high. So it looked 5 candles before, and it says okay, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles. I want you to put the stop loss 15 pips below that, because usually the low or the high is like 5 candles. That's why I did that, and you can change the number if you like. Or you could do the entry candle. So you could say, okay, wherever it entered, just put the the stop loss below that entry candle. So if you want to tie your stop loss, you can do it at the entry. So it's kind of up to you. I haven't tested the entry candle because I'm still, like I said, testing everything. And I'm waiting for the last part of the bot to be finished with the Ichimoku cloud. Now, what's cool about it is, let's say that we have this set to the risk to 2.0, right? Now I have this false because we're still gonna be testing stuff. Like I'm gonna have the beta team testing all kinds of things. But you can turn on break even, and you can say at 50% of the trade. So let's say that if I turn this to true, and I told myself, since I'm doing 2.1, 50% of this trade, I want you to move stop loss to break even. So if once I get to 1-to-1, basically, if our stop loss is 20, that means our take profit is 40. That means that at 20 pips, move my stop loss to break even just in case. If you wanted that, right? Let's say we did the 4-to-0. And you told the bot at 50% of the trade, which is if my stop loss is 20, my take profit is 80. Once I get to 40 pips, move my stop loss to break even. Or you can change it to 25% of the trade, or 75% of the trade. So I thought I made like a real trader, right? I wanted to make it as that way you can diversify how you want the bot to trade for you, or how you want to trade with the particular pairs. I have a stop loss range filter, so I set to 0, but you set something. Let's say that your stop loss is 70 pips. Well, if you put this at 50, that means that anything that has 50 pips stop loss or higher, it will not take the trade because the stop loss is too far. So that's another feature. It has the news filter, so it avoids news. It can avoid certain days. And you can do partial profit. So you can say, look, at 50% of the trade, I want to take 25% of the trade partial profits. So let's kind of look at some of the results based off of how I got it set. Like I said, I only tested it for like maybe 6-7 hours so far, so it hasn't been that long. Oh, one other thing I forgot to show you is you can choose the risk per trade. So if it's you want to risk 3% every trade, that means that every time you lose, it's going to lose 3%. If you want to risk 1% of trade, every time you trade, it's going to risk 1% every trade, 2% every trade. So you could choose your risk also, and it's going to look at the stop loss that's set, and it's going to look at your balance, and it's going to choose your lot size based off that. So this is a 15-minute chart scenario. I did the 1-to-2. It won every trade, and the good thing about this is that okay, that means that a 1 and 2. I won 3 trades. This is a 168, 167, 179. If I lose 3 times, I'm only gonna lose half of that. Because remember, I'm doing the 1 2. That means I aimed for 40 pips, and so I was willing to risk 20 pips. So that means that if it hits my stop loss, I will only lose half. That means I have to lose 6 times just to break even on this trade. And this is on the 15-minute chart. So far so good with this, right? I'm gonna keep you guys updated. And I told you I'm gonna create some more scenarios. This is a 15-minute chart. Also, same exact trades. Oops. Same exact trades as this one, I believe. Yep. The different, well, no, I think it took one more trade than the other one. Oh, you know what? It's probably still in the trade. See, it's still in the trade. I didn't even notice that. So with this one, it's a 1-to-1. So it's out the trade faster. It's more of a scalp. And so it's a 1-to-1. So it came out the trade. Look, it's the same exact trade, except been made less, but it's out the trade faster. I don't even think it's in any trades right now. Nope. So this, for people who just want to be in and out the trade, this is great, right? For the people who want to hold onto the trade a little bit longer, this is great also. This is almost at a lot. It's done pretty well, right? So it's about to win this trade. So when it wins this trade, it's going to have to lose 8 times in a row just to break even. And then I tried the 5-minute chart. I'm going to do a 1-minute chart also, and I'm going to do an hour, daily, and weekly too. Just so, I'm going to do all of the scenarios. And I'm going to have the base team do everything too. And then, I'll release it to the group. And so this one's a 5-minute chart, right? It's taking a lot more trades. As you can see, look us up some trades. It's a little down. Obviously, the lower the time frame, the more trades, by the way. So this is the 5-minute chart on a 1-to-1. So it won 1, then it lost like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a row. Then it won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 trades. So obviously it's in profit right now. I just lost this trade, but it's looking like it's going to win a couple more trades also. So the 5-minute's not too bad either. I'm going to try the 1 minute, the 30-minute. The 1 minute's probably going to take like a bunch of trades. So if you're trying to have like a super quick type of trader, then 1 minute. So this is going to be a very diverse bot. I think it's very unique. I love the trend entry indicator because how good it is as far as how accurate it is. I created this from scratch. And so my members who are in FXO series are going to get access to the bot that we're showing. If you become a premium member with us, I'll allow you to beta test the bot also. You're also going to be able to still, get all the other products like, you're going to get our group chat. You're also going to get our signals, and you're going to get the current copier bot we have, and, all this other good stuff you get, and the membership lounge. So that's pretty much it, guys. We're going to keep you guys updated as we add the Ichimoku cloud. I'm going to probably try to do like 2 videos a week, just updating you. And of course, you can give me some of your feedback on what you think I should add, or what kind of filters you think would help the bot, or kind of whatever, right? Let's make it dope. Let's make trading dope again.